Him in practice here, is he responding the way you hoped?
That's what I love about it. I love guys. Like, same with the defense. Like, I love talking to Landon Roberts and Patrick Queen. And we got a fun group on defense, really smart football players. And trust me, more than anybody, I'm not between the white lines, but a little gamesmanship. And, you know, Justin just 22, we got him a few times. And last year, he broke off one 50. I don't even remember what I said. And he just kind of laughed. And they got after us that day. So I really like him. I really like his demeanor. He actually saw him talking some trash the other day, and just be himself, and that's all we're asking.
With his ability as a runner, I mean, what kind of extra layer does that give this offense to work with and kind of work into the mix of what you want to do?
Yeah, well, the good thing is all four of those guys can move, so it's not some wholesale change. And again, some guys do better than others, you know, playing to their strengths, better way to put it. But, you know, he's a dangerous football player with the ball in his hands. And so it allows you to get creative, and, you know, maybe you change up a little bit of the defensive game plan, and he's done a good job. And for all our players, a wideout, quarterback, tight end, fullback, whatever age, we need to play their strengths, and certainly he adds a different element.
What stood out to you from that 2-minute drill that you guys were in there with the first team?
Yeah, just the operation. Again, we're in day 3. You do it at the end, right? We've got to be great at the end of half, into games. So who can think when they're tired? You know, historically, that's when a lot of your mental errors happens. When your route depths get short, guys get tired, and you're pushing through your conditioning and being able to operate in those pressure situations. And I was fired up. It wasn't perfect. It never is. And then some of it's not real, and the quarterback knows he's not getting hit. But the best we can in this environment, you're finding out about guys, and that's just competitive spirit, always talking situations, because that's what the NFL comes down to. So from that standpoint, it was positive. There's some things we'll need to detail in the film, but I like that. I like the focus, pushing through when we're tired.
Putting it in there.
Well, it's all going to play out. But, yeah, all these guys, they got to be – we just don't want to become obvious, right? So it's every time this guy's in here in this formation, we're only doing that. So we need everybody involved. And it'll be week to week, you know, how we want to scheme it up. But you can't become obvious. You know, naturally there's going to be tendencies. That's what you're constantly looking at. We need everybody involved to make us more lethal offense.
Yes, sir. It's a little bit of a dust up from your point of view as a former offensive lineman. What's your reaction when you see linemen coming to the defense of the quarterback?
And I know Mike talked about this yesterday. You know, nobody wants anything to hurt the team and penalties, and it's going to get chippy. I mean, these guys it's been a hard camp. It's been awesome. It's good back and forth going in there. And there's a fine line. When you push to the edge, you know, when it comes to the quarterback, those guys care. And so nobody wants anything that hurts the team, but those guys stood up for the quarterback. So it's a fine line. You know, there's a lot going on there. But I love the way the line's competing, that mentality. We got good competition really everywhere.
The way that two of the guys that came in there were two rookies, I mean, does that kind of echo what you saw in the draft evaluation process with their edge and kind of that mean streak that they have, that they're right in there in the thick of things?
Yeah, they are who we thought they were. You know, and that part, you know, is a positive. But, you know, when something happens in a game, we can't hurt the team, you know, with the personal fouls and all that stuff. But, yeah, it was good to see him bite.
With the caliber of tight ends you have, does that lend itself to more two tight end?
Certainly, and it goes back and forth. You know, some weeks you may like more of a heavy game plan depending on who's up and or what you think gives you an advantage, especially on early downs. Some weeks you may be, you know, a little more wide open, just depends on the matchup. So it goes week to week, and so that's what we're working through right now. But it certainly gives you an advantage when you got guys that can play multiple spots, change formations week in and week out, or series to series.
How the guys grasp not only the playbook, but the mentality that you want them to play with?
Yeah, I think we're further along in that regard in terms of style of play than I anticipated, and that's been a positive.
Jack Coletto, this isn't a Jack Coletto question, but it's just a fullback. I mean,
sure.
How important is that to what you want to do there?
Well, if you've got a fullback that can help you, there's a big picture involved. It's not, you know, you don't live in fullback I formation, offset. But if the advantage you have up, that guy's also going to help in other spots. So that is where a little bit, where you see the big picture coming from my previous experience. And so it's important. You know, we had a very good special teams player in Atlanta, Smith, so that was a valuable member of the roster. He was a core teamer. He was a good fullback. He gave you advantage. But so you're just trying to find that out. And there may be some weeks, just like we're talking about multiple tight ends, you may want to have a fullback if it gives you an advantage. But it's also got to play into the big picture. And that's stuff that Mike and Danny got to work out. But, you know, as you talk through it as staff.
Arthur, the last 2 years in Atlanta, you know, you ran a lot of the pistol formation. Can you talk a little bit about like what kind of changed your mentality in terms of shifting there, and what are some of the advantages you get from it?
Right, that's a great question. You know, the pistol, you see it trending, and it was big in college football. more teams are running. We started really getting more into it in 22, depending on the personnel we have with Marcus. You know, Marcus was such a good zone read. I mean, he won a Heisman at Oregon. And, you know, it's a little bit different sometimes when you run tracks and you're under center, but I felt we got good at it. And it just keeps the defense honest, where you don't have tendencies sometimes maybe on early downs, offset, you know, to the tight end or offset away, giving up tendencies. It allows you to do your whole package, and then you got quarterbacks that can run, and then you add the zone read element to it, and you're making people defend more. So but you know, it's got to make sense for you. And we're working through that right now.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.